Assalamu alaikum students, hope you all will be fine. Today we start our new chapter, unit number 12, information handling. In this chapter we learn about frequency distribution, frequency table, histogram, central tendency, mean, which is average, median and mode, and real life problems involving mean, median and mode. Frequency and frequency distribution. Frequency, the number of times a value occurs in data, is called frequency of that value. For example, we have 15 students and having marks 3, 5, 7, 10, 7, 9, 3, 7, 5, 4, 6, 8, 7, 5, 2. The data consists of 15 values. Some of the values are occurring more than once. So the frequency of 3 marks 2 because 3 is more than once. The frequency of 5 is 3, 1, 2, 3. The frequency of 7 marks 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4. All other values having frequency 1. Frequency distribution. To write the data in the form of a table in such a way that the frequency of each class can be observed once is called frequency distribution. It means we make table to observe the frequency at once. So the construction of frequency distribution table is, we have weight of 50 students. Firstly, we look the largest and smallest value. The largest value is 45 and the smallest is 28. In the next step, we see the number of classes, which is 6, and in the third step we use a formula for class intervals, which is largest value minus smallest value divided by number of classes. So 45 minus 28 divided by 6, we get 2.8. By rounding we get 3. It means that the class interval is 3. We use class interval for making the frequency table. We use class intervals of 3 for constructing a frequency distribution table. So 28 to 30, like 30, 30, 28, 29, 30, 30, 28, 28, 30, 28, 30 and 29, 28. So it means the numbers 28 to 30 having 14 frequency. Similarly, 31 to 33 having 9 frequency. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. 34 to 36 having 13 frequency. 37 to 39 having 7. 40 to 42 5. 43 to 45 2. So the 14, 9, 13, 7, 5 and 2. We add these values and get 50. It means we have weight of 50 students, so we get 50. Example number 1, we have marks of 50 students out of 60. Lowest value 25, highest value 54, and the class to be made 6. So subtract 25 from 54 divided by 6. We approximate value 5. We have approximate value 5. Now we make class intervals 25 to 29, class for intervals of 5, 30 to 34, 35 to 39, 40 to 44, 45 to 49 and 50 to 54. To make the frequency, firstly we tally mark. Tally mark means numbers having 25 to 29, we count the numbers which are in between 25 to 29. So 25, 1, 26, 28, 29, 27, then 28. Count the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. 4 lines are straight. After 4 lines, the fifth lines must cut these 4 lines and then started next. Similarly, 30 to 34, there are 5 lines which are tally mark. 35 to 39, 13 frequency, and the tally marks 5, 5 and 3. 40 to 44, 5, 5 and 2, which is 12, and then 45 to 49, 5, 50 to 54, 5 and 4, which is 9. So the frequency is 50, and these are the tally marks. Similarly, in the example number 2, we have a units of electricity by 31 household. So for making the frequency table, firstly we find the lowest value, which is 711, and highest value, which is 908. Total classes are to be made 10, and then size of the interval is 908 minus 711 divided by 10. We get 19.7, and approximate value, which is approximate value, then we round the value and get 20. So the 20 is the class interval, which 711 to 730, and then 731 to 750, 751 to 720, 771 to 790, and 791 to 810, and then 811 to 830, 831 to 850, 851 to 870, 871 to 890, and the last is 891 to 910. So now we start tally mark 711 to 730. So we have 3 numbers in between 711 to 730. Tally mark is 3, and the frequency is also 3. In the next 731 to 750, we have 2 numbers in between 731 to 750. So the tally mark is 2, and the frequency is also 2. In the next 751 to 770, 752 and 752, 751. So we have 3 numbers in between these numbers. So tally mark is 3, and the frequency is also 3. In the next 771 to 790, we see the number 774 and 773, 778. We have 3 numbers. Tally mark is 3, and the frequency is also 3. 791 to 810. There is only 2 numbers, 790 and 792, in between 791 and 810. So tally mark is 2, and the frequency is also 2. In the next 811 to 830, tally mark is 3, and the frequency is also 3. 831 to 850, tally mark is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8. So the frequency is 8. Next is 851 to 870. There is 5 tally marks, so 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So the frequency is also 5. 871 to 890, tally mark is 1. There is only one value in between 871 to 890, which is 880. In the next 891 to 910, there is only one value, which is 908. So the frequency is 1, and the tally mark is also 1. So the number of household is 31, and the total of the frequency is also 31. Construction of histogram. Like bar graph and pie graph, histogram is similar to bar graph, but it is constructed for frequency table. So in bar graph, frequencies are shown in horizontal x-axis, and the bars also showing in horizontal x-axis. So to draw the histogram, draw x-axis and y-axis. This is x-axis and this is y-axis. Make class boundaries of classes along x-axis. So we make class boundaries on x-axis and frequency on y-axis. Draw a bar for each class so that the height of the bar drawn for each class equal to the frequency of the class. Suppose in this histogram we have class boundaries 39.5, 49.5, 59.5, 69.5, 79.5, 89.5 and 99.5. and these are the frequencies, which is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 and 15. For example, we have a table, frequency table, which have distance traveled in kilometer and number of persons. If we make a table, distance traveled in kilometer and class boundaries frequency. So distance is 1 to 8 and frequency 15, which is given in the question. We make class boundaries. For making class boundaries, we subtract 0.5 from the first value and add 0.5 to the last value. So we get 0.5 to 8.5. Similarly, 8.5 to 16.5, 16.5 to 24.5, 24.5 to 32.5 and 32.5 to 40.5. So in x-axis we mark class boundaries and in y-axis we mark frequency. So the frequency start from 0 to 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 and 15. And the class boundaries, which are 0.5, which is 0.5, 8.5, 16.5, 24.5, 32.5 and 40.5. The first class boundary is 0.5 to 8.5 and the frequency is 15. We mark 15 and draw a bar. Next class boundary is 8.5 to 16.5 and the frequency is 12. We mark 12 and then draw a bar. The next is 16.5 to 24.5 and the frequency is 7. So we mark 7 and draw a bar. The next is 24.5 to 32.5 and the frequency is 4. We make a bar. And then last is 32.5 to 40.5 and the frequency is 2. So we mark 2 and then draw a bar. So this is a histogram which shows the frequency and class boundaries by the bar. Okay students, Allah Hafiz.